Okay, let's go for the second game. 1 second, this won't load.
He's taking some time for the next one. Understandably.
Sure. Yeah, after I missed queen c8, that game was already very difficult to solve. But I guess that's a bit embarrassing to lose against F3. But hopefully he'll play it again next game. We'll have some fun.
I actually think he fought really well after he blundered that pawn on c6. Probably going b5 there at some point would have been pretty dangerous for me. But I prevailed in the end, so I'm happy, of course. Okay, we'll go for the old Alyoshin's defense. Take and g6. Let's see what he's prepared here, if anything.
So he has to play c6 or bishop e6. Yes, I'm threatening knight takes f7. So yeah.
Yeah, bishop c4. Can go. I think you can go bishop e6. Let's see what it does.
Black has a playable position if slightly worse. Normally the bishop on e6 is not well placed. It blocks the the pawn on e7. And it allows the possibility of me sacrificing the exchange later. With rook takes e6. On knight f3, he's got knight e3. Oh, so that was his plan all along.
Just castling, huh? Okay, knight d7. I don't remember your theory here, so I'm basically improvising, but one of the points here is I wanna, with going bishop e6, is I wanna possibly save on c6 so that I can go c5 in one go at some point.
Okay, let's play like this. Rook e1, knight e5, rook e5, bg7. I'm really tempted to sacrifice the exchange with rook takes e6. But it's probably not enough. Because after knight e5, rook e5, bg7, rook e6, fe6, queen e2, he can play queen d6, and he doesn't have to castle short. He can castle long. His king is very safe.
And I may have some tactics, like if he had moved the knight, like knight f3, maybe I could have gone knight e3, win the bishop pair, bishop c4, and even though I'm a bit behind in development, I still just need bishop g7 castles to get a good position, so I was not so worried about that. Rook e1 feels a bit soft to me. Okay, I'm gonna take it, and then I think I'm gonna go bishop g7, because I feel like obviously the exchange sack is a very typical theme, but as long as I can castle queenside, the weakening of my king is not as important, and thus it shouldn't be all that dangerous.
Well, so after bg7, I probably should just head back to e1. Then we get this position where it's nothing special. Yeah, so I totally didn't manage to guess Magnus' opening choices today. I thought he would go for the main lines pretty much with the Queen's Gambit with white, and with black I thought he would go for some Sicilian or some Rui Lopez. But no one could have predicted he would play f3 and king f2. That was a total shame losing against that opening. But I've done it before.
So I had an idea here. Knight c3 is not very attractive to me, because knight c3 happens and then he gets to develop with tempo. I can go knight to e3, and then if he goes bishop b5 check, I go c6, I take, he takes, and if either bishop c3, bishop e3, or fe3 protecting d4, I go c5. Now I've sacked a pawn, but I think I do get some positional compensation. Is this too adventurous for Tuesday nights? That is the question. Okay, whatever. Enough wasted time. I'll just castle. Not like a normal kid.
Don't know if Magnus got disconnected. Oh, maybe he didn't. But maybe he was calculating knight c3 there instead of castling. Knight c3 to try to win the bishop pair would be an interesting choice because the bishop pair is an advantage in chess. Having the bishop pair generally is a slight advantage these days. It's very tempting to just take on e6 one day and just sacrifice the exchange. But my queen side is still undeveloped. If my knight were on f3, then you don't have to think twice to take on e6. But my knight's on b1.
Yeah. I have castled now, but I didn't think that he was gonna sack in exchange after he'd lost the tempo. I can go c5. Not crazy about that move. Okay, let me go for a5 instead. C4 is what I was kind of hoping for. I thought I had the opportunity to play dynamically now. The idea is knight b4.
Bishop b6, queen d1, rook d1, knight c2. Queen d8, rook d8, queen e2, bishop b3, bishop. Bishop e6, queen d1, rook d1, knight c2. Oh man, I shouldn't be thinking this long. I should just play. But some of his moves are shocking. Shockingly good.
And bishop e6 is met by queen d1, followed by knight takes c2. So I'm not sure he's really in time to consolidate. Obviously, if he was in time to take on e6 and then protect c2, my position would be a wreck, positionally speaking. But I don't think he's in time, and thus I should be fine. If he'd gone c3 instead of a4, protecting against the threat of a4, I wouldn't have been able to do this, and I would have had to play, in a normal slightly passive way instead. This way, I'm pretty happy. Because the whole construction with the bishop on g7, the knight on b4, and everything, all of it makes sense as long as white doesn't get to play c3. And I don't really think c3 is an attractive option here. Because I can just go knight d3, or even better, I go queen d1, bishop d1, knight d3, and I actually win material because both c1 and e1 cannot be protected. So in general, I think I'm achieving some of my positional goals here.
C3. He's got some knight d3 later. So what do I play? Bishop e6, queen d1, rook d1, knight c2, bishop a2, knight a1, knight a3. No, I wouldn't be able to trap that knight. Jeez, I'm thinking too long. So confusing what to do here. I know I should just make a move, so I'll just make a move.
Probably knight c3 is the best move here. Then I take on b3. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, I don't take it back. No automatic moves. I take on c2. And if he takes on f7, I will be a pawn down, but I'm not even remotely worried about that. His rook will be poorly placed on a2. I will get rook f to d8, exploiting his somewhat retarded development. And here as well, I think just rook d8, and I should be doing perfectly fine.
Spending too much time. This is not like my other match, where I was generally at very good time management. Take, knight d4. Knight d4. Yeah, he's playing so well, as expected.
If I'd gone for, let's say, knight b4, his rook would have had an avenue into the game via d2 or e2. But now, well, he does get the rook into the game, but at least I've gained some time. I think I'll go knight d4 to create a threat against d3. And if knight d2, I'll go rook c8 probably. And here I'll go bishop h6. I don't think he can protect everything.
Shoot. Okay, I should just play fast, right? If I lose, then I just deal with it. One, x5, rook d4, rook c2, knight c5. Yeah, sorry I'm not talking as much. Just the positions are very difficult. And I badly need not to lose this game. Oh, you got rook a4, yeah? That was its strategy. Yeah, I guess he can move the bishop and play rook a4. Okay, rook b5. He's got some pressure on the second rank, maybe. Okay, he can. I can trade the queen side pawns off, and then we get 4 versus 3 endgame, which is gonna try to squeeze the win out of it. Don't know if he can win this though. Let's see. Do I play king f1 or king g? Let's play king g2. e3, fe3, rook a3. Guess he's gonna put the rook on d3 and then play e3. Yeah, that's his plan, isn't it? Rook d3 and shoot. He's got some e3 move. Too weak, too slow. e2, a2. Aha, f3. It's a nice move. Because fe3 he had king g4. Oh, he still got rook g2. Shoot. What do I do? I look for freaking counterplay. Should be a draw, right? Rook h3. Shoot. Rook h3, check. King f6, check. Man, so hard to play. So little time. Such good moves by black. Makes it very hard to defend. I mean, what he's got rook h5. Shoot. Rook c2. King h6. My king's cut off. GG. Okay, how does he win this though? Rook a8. Shoot. G3. He even had this freak. Yeah. Well done by Magnus. Well, it's up 2-0 now, right? So he should just play f3.
So knight c4, I'll take on b3, and I think I should be better. Yeah, let's just go rook d4, see what he does. If this, no, I probably got to trade. Yeah, he's probably going to be able to make a draw here. Okay, rook c7. Let's try and make it a little difficult for him. I'm obviously short on time, but we're playing on increments, so it shouldn't be a major issue. Rook b3 is a good move, protecting the bishop on a3. And now I do have bishop c1. I feel like he might have missed that. We'll take this one, go e5. Try and gain some space. Oh, I missed rook b5. Now it's going to be a draw for sure. Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. Okay, I'll take an a6, e6. Yeah, this is pretty clear draw. But I will obviously try and push a little bit, seeing as I do have an extra pawn. Okay, I'll go e5, rook c2. Okay, now rook d3, e3 is coming. Not 100% trivial. pretty far from it, actually, as the knights who say ni would not say. Oh, f3, that was his idea. Okay, that was an unfortunate miss. Still, he had rook b4 there, maybe. Then he would be able to trap my rook. Okay. Rook f6. Sorry, king f6. We'll go back with the king, and we're hoping that his king is kind of shut off. Push h4. Okay, we'll push again. It's not immediately obvious to me that this is a draw. Okay, I think we have to get the rook behind. King goes. Still, he cannot take because the pawn ending is lost. So it's not at all obvious. We'll go check, take on f4, rook f3, and now I win the game. It's a little reminiscent of the game he won against Maxim in the quarterfinals, where he won completely drawn rook ending. A pawn up. Okay. 2 up. That's a pretty good start.